Alright, hey everyone, thanks for tuning back in. This is going to be my first tutorial, and I'm going to have a lovely volunteer, Christine, join us so that I can show you guys really how I would teach you in person, and so that you can learn more from someone who doesn't have any parkour experience, so that you can kind of see firsthand exactly how I would teach her how to do all of these things. So, thank you. Christine. So today's tutorial is going to focus on warming up, and while we warm up we're also going to focus on a little bit of stretching so that we don't pull our muscles before we start doing parkour, and also on a little bit of conditioning. Before we start our warm-up, I did want to touch on one thing. For those of you who've never done parkour, a lot of us tend to do it in a park outside, or on a playground, in a gym as well, or just not in your house. But you're going to have to get over that fear or anxiety of doing something strange in a park where people could see you and watch you. So you may feel a little foolish at first, but don't worry. I mean, we all kind of have that awkward moment. But just know that you're getting stronger. You're outside. You're working hard. The first thing that we're going to touch on is quadrupedal movement, also known as QM or cat crawling, has a lot of different names. So Christine just saw me demonstrate that forward quadrupedal movement, and now I'm going to explain to her how to do it. So Christine, you're going to get down like you're going to do a push-up. Good. And you're going to bring your right leg slightly forward. A little bit too much. There you go. And your left arm back a little bit. Good. Okay, now you're going to step forward with your left arm and your right leg. Good. And switch with your... Good. So now what I want you to do is kind of bring your knees to the outside instead of bringing them to your chest. Okay? Same thing. Good job. So it's opposite hand and foot. Yep. Good. Better. And our goal here is to keep our bottom down. We want to be working our abs and our hip flexors. Good. So now we're going to try it backwards.
This will be interesting.
Yeah. So backwards is a little bit more difficult because you're pushing back off your arms. You're going to take smaller steps in the beginning until you can build up that fluidity of moving everything at the same time. Okay? Also look between your legs so you don't run into anyone or anything. Good. Yeah. It's still opposite, but it tends to go a little quicker. Good. Are you scared? Alright, so our goal too in doing our QM is to always make sure that we always want to try to make sure that our shoulders are over our wrists, staying in that plank position so that we can get the full benefits of our abs and our hip flexors.
So, knees out, correct?
Yep, a little bit more.
See how my knees come out the side a little bit.
Let's see how I take small steps. Good, so how do you feel after those?
Good. It's definitely a core workout.
Yeah, so this is another thing that's going to actually help with warming up and conditioning. It's going to build the strength in our abs and our hip flexors, which will help with balance. You need balance for control in parkour. Okay, so now I've shown forwards QM and backwards QM. Now I'm going to show you sideways. Sideways will help open up your hips more.
So I'm starting here?
Yeah, so you're starting down in a squat.
Right.
So my plan right now is...
So you're going to start down a squat like this. You're going to reach to the right as far as you can, but make sure that your hands reach like that.
Okay.
Good, so that you're even.
Will you be there?
And you're going to jump, and then you're going to stretch the right leg out.
I'll be there.
Good, and then you're going to just follow through like this to open up your hips. And then reach again and hop. Good.
Oh, really?
So they might be there training.
So your goal here is just like the other QMs, you want to keep your butt as low as you can. Okay, and we're going to go back the same way. So now that we went to the right, we need to go to the left.
To the left.
Good, so feet. And the more flexible you are, the lower you can get into that transfer of weight from your right to your left foot, and vice versa.
I think it would have paid
So the warm-ups I'm showing you, as well as some of the conditioning, can also be combined to form a circuit, so that you're not just doing one move and then stopping. I like to do that when I'm warming up because it builds my endurance as well as my strength, and it warms me up. So you can combine some of the stuff that we're doing. You know, do a couple passes of QM, run to a tree, run back. We're going to touch on lunges right now, if you don't know those. You do lunges, you can add some burpees in. Basically, we just want to get our heart rate up, even jumping rope. So we're going to do some lunges. You can have your arms here, you can have your arms here. We just don't want our arms here. Okay, cool. Have you done lunges before?
I have.
Awesome. So I don't need a lot of explanation for you. So you're going to step out. You want to make sure that when you come down, you don't slam your knee, because you can hurt yourself. But also make sure that the angle right here is about 90 degrees. You don't want your knee over your toe, and you don't want to be out here. Okay?
All right.
Good. And she has nice form, keeping your chest up, keeping that nice angle.
I did some shooting here.
Alright, so now some other things that we can add to our circuit for a warm-up. We can come over here, and just by using a bench, anything, it could be a little bit higher, it could be a little bit lower. We're just going to do some step-ups. Okay? You'll put your leg up here, and you'll just step and kick back, activating your glutes and your hamstrings. Okay, we maybe want to do about 10 on each leg. Okay, so you ready? Good, so same thing. You just want to make sure that, is this too high for you? You just want to make sure that the height is okay for you. Because you don't want to be putting your hands right here on your knees, because then you're not working as hard. So you're going to want to step up, get your chest up, but also lift this up a little bit more. Okay. And you can actually jump off your bottom foot. Good. Don't forget to breathe when we do these exercises. Alright, when she's done 10, she'll switch to the other leg. The more you put your foot straight down below you, the easier it's going to be when you jump up. Warmed up?
Yep.
For those of you who do other sports, cross-training is a great way to not be bored with the exercises that you're doing all the time in that specific sport. A lot of people who do parkour do CrossFit as well. There are other exercises. I do gymnastics. Basically, there are different conditioning and warm-up things that you can take from all the different sports combined. So we're gonna show you how to do a burpee. Burpees are used a lot in CrossFit. So I'll give you an example. So we're gonna let Christine here do a burpee. We'll let her do 3. Good. Okay, so the next exercise that we're gonna do, plainly called stairs. I did it a lot as a gymnast in college. It's a great way to warm up, get your heart rate going, but it's also a conditioning exercise. It works your legs a lot. So it also takes a little bit of coordination. I'm going to show you it. These stairs right here, they aren't connected all the way, so you will have to kind of run up to the second set, but it doesn't really matter. Okay, so that's the left side. Obviously, you want all your muscles to be even on both sides of your body, so you should always do the other side. And then there's forwards, left and right feet. Okay, and here's forwards. Right foot starting. And you always want to make sure to run down the stairs, because then if you're walking, you're really not getting warm up. Just don't fall down the stairs when your legs get tired. And that's where rolls come in. So when you're working on stairs, take it slow in the beginning. It does take coordination and it works on agility. Just remember that 2 feet go on each stair. Alright, so we're going to have Christine go. We're gonna start on our left side. Good. She'll switch to her right side. Good. And then we'll do forwards. Good. Good job. Last one. Yeah. Feel the burn. Come on. Good. Nice job. Woo! That was awesome. Alright, so now that we've warmed up and our blood is flowing and our heart rate's up, we should stretch a little bit too, so we don't pull any muscles. I was a gymnast. I still stretch before I do things. I don't know. Some people don't like to stretch before they run, especially. I guess it really is all up to you. If you feel tight, you should stretch, but don't overstretch in the beginning. If you're not very flexible, just stretch to your ability, and then when you're done warming up, when you're done with your exercises for the whole day, and your cool down, that's where you can actively stretch and really work on getting your flexibility better. So, we're just going to start with some general joint mobility rotations. So let's just do some arm circles backwards. And forwards. Good. And look up with your neck. And down. And up. And down. There it goes. So we're going to stretch out our wrists now. Stretching your wrists is really important because we use them a lot in parkour. And in some other episodes later, I'm going to show you some preventative maintenance exercises that we can work on for different joints in our bodies so that we can strengthen our wrists and our ankles and our knees and that kind of stuff. Good. Okay, we can do some elbow rotations, kind of getting everything warmed up. Yeah. Alright, and we can roll out our ankles. If it helps, you can kind of work from your head down to your body if you can't remember what you want to stretch next or what you haven't stretched yet. I kind of just move all over the place. Ankles are also really important to warm up too, and especially stretching your IT band out, because we do a lot of jumping and this can get really tight right here, and your Achilles. If you don't have a foam roller, I would definitely suggest purchasing one. I think they're about $30, but that's also a great way to kind of, roll out those muscles especially if you're tight. So, all right, and we're gonna do our knees. You just do some circles like this. And the other way.
You on Instagram, dude? I am.
And we can roll out our hips.
Don't have any connection.
The more flexible you are, obviously, the bigger you can do these.
Yeah,
you can also stretch out your back as you're doing this as well.
Yeah. And I've
pulled my back before by doing Kong to precisions. So you do really want to warm up your back as well, because anyone who's pulled their back knows they're out for a little while.
Which is okay. Yeah.
And then you can go to one side or the other. Just a very light stretch. Women tend to be more flexible than men anyway, so.
Where can I find you on Instagram? What's your...
Sit down in a pancake, and you can stretch this out as far as you can go. Remember I said don't overstretch in the beginning. Alright, so we want to thank you for tuning in for our very first episode, and we want to thank Christine for being a volunteer. And I really hope you can use these exercises and you work on them. And next time we're going to work on how to properly land and jump and all the different exercises for that, as well as some conditioning. So if you have any questions, feel free to subscribe to us and ask. and I will do my best to answer them in a timely manner. So thank you.
Peace. Yeah.